Good evening. Good evening. This is Coach Paula, your life transitions coach. Today is Sunday, June the 9th, 2024, and I'm here to just share as I normally do on Sunday evenings. I come to you for 7 minutes just to share a concept, something to think about over the course of the week and reflect. And so for today, I want to just talk about fatherhood. Next Sunday is Father's Day, and we often make a big to do about motherhood. And, as a mom, we should. So I don't discount that, but I think we also should, make a big deal about fatherhood too. And so I'd just like to share in my 7 minutes just some thoughts on fatherhood and some things that are important to me as it relates to fatherhood. And hopefully, something I say, as is my standard, will shift your energy and awaken your potential and make you think about fatherhood. And I wanted to do this today as opposed to doing it next Sunday on actual Father's Day, because I'm hopeful that something I say can influence, how you may respond to fatherhood this coming holiday. So let's dig into this. Like I said, we only have kind of 7 minutes. And as a life transitions coach, I often like to speak with people regarding life events. There's so many life transitions that we all endure. My father passed away in 2004, and so he's been gone for 20 years now. And, I think about my dad often. I was a daddy's girl. And to understand our family structure, I'm the youngest of seven. My dad was active military. They had five older siblings while my dad was active, and my mom stayed home and raised those five. And then when my dad retired from the Navy, they had me and my brother. And so my brother and I, Mark was only 15, he was only 4 years older. And so the two of us just grew up together while my other siblings were all grown out of the house and quite honestly have some of them have children older than I. And so as a result, I just felt close to just my brother and I with my dad. And so I was a daddy's girl. My dad, it was his first time really being actively involved in parenting because he had been in the military. And so he just doted on me. I'm just going to be honest. My daddy doted on me. And I don't like to use the word spoiled because anything spoiled is of no useful value and should be thrown away. So I like to say much loved or much cared for. And my daddy did that for me. And then he also just provided for me. He was a great dad. And so I want to talk about my dad. I want to talk about my husband as fatherhood for my three sons. And I'd like to just talk about even the fatherhood that I see my children now exhibiting. My oldest son, he's a dad. His son is 5 years old. And so I would just like in my remaining minutes just to talk about fatherhood as it relates to structure and just share some thoughts and hopefully encourage you in your relationship with fatherhood in your life. So let's talk about structure. What is structure? So, structure is a word that has two definitions. It has a noun definition and then it has a verb definition. And so, let's talk about the noun side first. So, structure is the arrangement of or the relations between various parts and elements of something. And so, structure is how things are fitted together, how things are organized, how they're formed, their shape, their fabric, their systems, their anatomy, their framework, their patterns and plans, how they are set up. And so, fatherhood brings that element to the family. Now, I'm not being insensitive to know that not every family is fully nuclear, right? And so there are not always mother and father in a home. I'm not insensitive to that. And I do understand that. And so when I'm speaking of fatherhood, I'm speaking of the function of a father. Now, ideally, and most ideally, it's a nuclear family with a mother and father in a home, but that does not always exist. But some type of fatherhood, a father influence exists for every single child. It can be teachers, mentors, uncles, cousins. Fatherhood is a function. And so I say this often with motherhood, you know, every mother is not a mother is not just simply one who births a child. Motherhood is nurture, just like fatherhood is structure. And so those elements of nature, of nurture and structure come together to support and to build a family. So um, I'm not disenfranchising anyone that didn't grow up with a father in a home. By all means, I'm sensitive to that. And so that's the noun side. The verb side is how we plan, how we actively arrange and give patterns and structure or organization to things. And so fatherhood has this dual function of static now and stability, but then also the action of doing things. And so I want us to reflect because I only got a few minutes left here, a few seconds here. I want you to reflect on the fatherhood in your life. I'm thinking about my godfather, whom I love. I'm thinking about my brothers. They were all fatherhood examples. I want you to think about all of the examples of fatherhood in your life. And I want you to think about the structure, both static as a noun and also action wise, that those father figures brought into your life. Doesn't mean they were perfect. Come on, no one's perfect. But think about it. And even if there was a situation where there wasn't a father in your home, what other father figures can you acknowledge and recognize? And then I want you to be able to celebrate, identify something special and key and to be appreciated about that fatherhood relationship. That's what I want you to focus on for this upcoming Father's Day. I want you to acknowledge that person if they're alive, have a conversation, send them a text, say something encouraging, let them know the impact that they had on your life, right? And let's be honest, let's flip the side of the coin. Even if it was a bad relationship, there's something you learned out of that. And so frame that to even acknowledge that, hey, things were not ideal, but I even acknowledge that I'm a better person because I have taken that and done whatever. I want us to be really introspective and reflective and to really think about fatherhood this week so that next Sunday we are honoring the function, the gift, the action of fatherhood in our lives. So I hope in my time I have shifted your energy, I have awakened your potential, and said something that's making you think because that's my role. That's my responsibility as a life transitions coach to help you to see things perhaps in a different light. Share your thoughts. I'll come back on Wednesday to see how, your thoughts have been coming along, what you've done, and hopefully be able to share in this as we get ready to truly honor fatherhood in our lives. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.